She missed you.
So you can see the lip.
Alright, good morning. It is, I don't know what it is. Is it Tuesday? Yeah. What the date is in September. That's my dog. I'm in a hotel room in Kentucky. I took a road trip up to Michigan for my aunt's funeral this weekend. And to see my mom, my dad, my sisters, and my brother, the whole fam. And I decided to drive, which I guess in hindsight that was a good idea. Because I wanted to bring Cass with me. And, well, anyway, I stayed with my sister. Partly because my cousin and his wife, who were coming up from North Carolina, were staying with my mom and dad. Now, they did everything they were supposed to do. They have my cousin's wife's mother, who's 99 years old, in hospice living with them. So they've been exceptionally careful about COVID, as you can imagine. They had their fifth booster, or their, well, not booster, you know, the fifth shot, the third booster, a week or more before they came up. Wear their masks, all the things. You know where this is going, right? I can tell by the way I sound. I got to town Thursday afternoon, but I was tired from driving and everything, so I didn't go over to my parents on Thursday. They'd gotten there on Wednesday, but I did go over there on Friday, and I ended up having lunch with them. The cousins were there. And then Saturday, well, then Friday evening was the visitation for 4 hours at the funeral where I saw all my other cousins and all the family. Friday, yeah. Saturday was the funeral. I went to the funeral with my two sisters and my brother-in-law in their car, so we all only had one car. And we got there right before the service started, so we didn't, weren't there before the visitation, whatever. Doesn't matter. I didn't realize until after we got to the graveside service, the interment service, that my cousin, who was staying with mom and dad, well, they were there. They were standing way back under a tree with masks on. And then I find out that my cousin they woke up that morning and he didn't feel very good. Gussie was coughing in the night. And went downtown and got a rapid COVID test, and they were positive. They went right back to the farm and got in their car and left. They did not go to the dinner after the funeral dinner. We didn't go to the funeral dinner. We went back to my sister's. I should have followed my original plan and left on Sunday, but my mother is not doing well, and I'm really worried about her. And Dad keeps talking about bringing her to Alabama to visit me, and I just don't think it's a good idea. But anyway, that's a whole other conversation. So I thought if I spent time with them on Sunday, maybe that would assuage her desire to come to Alabama. So I spent 4 hours with them on Sunday. Got back to my sister's. We watched a movie, had some dinner, had kind of a sore throat, but I've been talking to people, sitting by campfire, few other things that might have made my throat scratchy. Kind of just pretending it was in denial. You know how it is. This morning I got up before dawn because I could hardly sleep the night before. I got on the road as soon as I could, and I only made it till 3 in the afternoon because I was miserable. My gas tank was empty too, so it's like I'm not stopping to fill my gas tank and then keep driving. I'm just going to stop and be done for the day. And as soon as I got in this hotel room, I took a hot shower. And I had the chills, I got body aches, I have a stuffed up head, I have a sore throat. And I don't want to get out of this bed this morning at 6 a.m. On the other hand, I really want to be at home in my bed right now. Which I could be if I had left on Sunday, but being the good daughter, I didn't do that. Ah, shit. Well, but then also, I spent 4 more hours with my parents. 24 hours before I don't know. I have not tested myself yet because I don't have any tests with me. I'm going to go get one this morning. But the likelihood is high, I would say. I slept in my clothes last night just because I fell asleep and I didn't get up to change. Hi, puppy. You got outside? Okay. So, I lost my train of thought already. Oh, yeah, so now I have also exposed my parents, potentially, if this is what this is. And that makes me mad at everybody. But I think there comes a time, I don't know, I'm not going to make excuses. If my mom and dad get sick, I'm going to blame myself. Even more than I blame my cousin. I don't blame my cousin. They were down at that funeral home all day. Both my cousin and my parents. So we could have all gotten exposed by the same person on Friday or Thursday, and it wasn't him that brought it here. And again, like I said, he did all the things he was supposed to do. So anyway, no blame to go around, really. It's this thing, because you don't know. But I'm just gonna, fingers crossed that I'm gonna make it back to I wish I was just going to Chattanooga today, because I can make it to Chattanooga in a few hours. I wish I could get back to Selma today. But if, as far as I can get, is Chattanooga, then I guess I'll find another Red Roof Inn, and Cass and I will spend another night in a hotel room. But I really want to be in my own bed. Alright, I'm gonna go take my dog out, pack up some of my shit, and find the closest Walgreens so I can get a test. I don't know if I'm gonna go in and, I don't know if they'll be open to give tests yet this early in the morning, but hopefully they'll be open to sell me an over-the-counter test. So, okay, bye. Right, hello folks. Been on the road for about 3 hours. I know, camera's in vertical. Too bad. I can't move it right now. Been on the road for about 3 hours. I'm between Knoxville and Chattanooga. Have a raging headache. Stuffed up head. I just want to sleep. And I got a text from my sister-in-law right outside of Knoxville that she and my brother both tested positive for COVID today, this morning, and they feel like they have a bad head cold, which is what I feel like right now. So I kind of almost feel like there's no point in me testing, because let's just assume that that's what it is, but I guess I better know for sure. And yeah, I'm supposed to have a doctor's appointment tomorrow, so at some point when I find a rest stop, I gotta stop and call them, because I confirmed my appointment yesterday. Now I gotta unconfirm it or see if they still want me to come in or what they want me to do. Probably reschedule it for next week sometime. Yeah, but there is a lack of just rest stops between Lexington, shower to any, but they weren't where I needed them. And now that there hasn't one yet. There's one coming up. But, yeah, going into or out of Knoxville, there were not any. And I guess the idea is that you stop in Knoxville and get your gas or your food or whatever, potty breaks. But I don't want to go out in public. I got Doofus McGee behind me here that I got to take out for a walk. So I need just a good old-fashioned rest stop at some point. That's my drive. Thank God I'm going towards Central Time so that I get my extra hour today, but I don't think it's going to make a difference. So, alrighty, that's where we're at right now. Alright, good morning. I'm back in my own bed this morning, which is better than anything else, I'd have to say. 8 hours of driving yesterday was a lot, but it went fine. Cass and I made it home, and I did take my home COVID test, and I got a pink line. So, I took a shower, I took a nap, I read my book, I watched some TV, and went to bed. Actually, by the time I got ready for bed, I was feeling, if I hadn't taken a test, I wouldn't have thought I had COVID, to be quite honest. I really wasn't feeling sick at all. I lived in Chattanooga for so long. This time of year, I always feel a little bit sinusy, allergy-like at this time of year. So, being, yeah, it doesn't feel much different than that, right? At least last night. Slept great. I don't know if Lilith just missed me being gone for a few days, or if she knows I'm sick, but she has been following me from room to room and sleeping on top of me most of the night, which maybe I need to go away more often or get sick more often, because she kind of quit doing that for a while this summer. And I had just hoped that when it got cold again, she would show back up again. Come back in snuggling mode. So anyway, it's morning, and I am a little stuffier and a little headache, a little scratchy throat this morning. So there's still some signs. I've sneezed quite a few times that something is amiss. So just gonna take it easy, keep taking it easy. But just because I've had this super mild case, and a lot of deniers have been saying, oh, it's just a bad cold. Well, I have had colds that are worse than this, to be totally honest. But on the other hand, I haven't been vaccinated 4 times against the common cold. Oh my God, if I could be, though. And I haven't gotten the 5th Omicron vaccination because it wasn't available to me before I left for Michigan. So let's assume that this is Omicron, which I have heard is much more, what's the word I want? So maybe I do have COVID brain. Easily transferable, whatever that word is. Virulent, I guess, which makes sense because 4 other members of my immediate family tested positive yesterday. So, and we were together at some point during the weekend, obviously. That's why I went up there. But at least 2 of the members of the family that have it, the majority of the time I spent with them, we were outside on a deck. I mean, we were together in the, which is probably where we all got it, was in the funeral home, where there were people in the funeral home. But anyhow, We all just feel like we have a bad cold so far. But we've all been vaccinated and boosted. So if you're not, I highly suggest it because it seems like this latest one going around is definitely kicking butt and taking names. So anyway, that's what I got. Okay. This is just a real quick outro update to this whole shenanigans. It is Sunday afternoon, September 25th. So it's almost been a week since I left Michigan. I'm still testing positive. Well, as of yesterday, 24 hours ago, I was still testing positive. I haven't tested yet today. I'm going to in a little bit. And at last count, 6 out of 9 of my family members who were together, including myself, my brother, his wife, his son, my mom, and my dad. My sister, whose house I stayed at and who I was with the entire weekend, so far so good. I think at this point she can decide she's safe. My other sister and her husband, who came from Chicago, also so far so good. No positive tests, no symptoms, no nothing. And I rode to and from the funeral home, and I spent most of my time with the 3 of them. So that was an odd coincidence that of the 4 of us, I was the only one that got it, and I didn't spread it to them. So I think I don't know. Trying to figure out, I'm glad I'm not an immunologist or anything like that, health department person trying to figure out the trajectory of this illness, because I don't know how. It's just the strangest thing. But anyway, I'm feeling much better. I'm still a little stuffy. I've coughed more today than I have all week. And, but I've been sleeping fine. I've been doing all right. I have a bowl. I've actually been eating better this week than I was for a couple months before that. I had a big bunch of about 15 pounds of onions that I bought right before I left for Michigan, not knowing I was going to need to go to Michigan. And I got home, chopped those up the other day, figuring if they made my nose run, it would probably be a good thing to clear things out. And put them in the roaster and slow roasted caramelized onions for pretty much 24 hours. And then pressure canned 12 half-pint jars of onions. And then I made French onion soup. Oh, and I also had a partial loaf of homemade bread in my fridge that I had taken out of the freezer right before I left. So it was getting a little stale. So I cubed that up and made homemade croutons. The only thing I don't have is Gruyere cheese. I've got some good stringy mozzarella in here. It's good. Anyhow, I have been feeling fine for the most part. I've been completely isolating. I had a friend drop off a few things the other day, run some errands for me. I had Walmart deliver food for me, groceries for me yesterday, and just leave them on my porch. So I am doing my due diligence that this tendril of this virus stops with me, that I'm not spreading it to anyone else. I'm not going to go out in public again, mask or no mask, until I test negative, and then I will be wearing a mask. And it's been interesting traveling somewhat cross-country. Here in Selma, so I've noticed, it was very remarkable notice when I moved here that people were still wearing their masks. I'm seeing people driving in their cars with their masks, but every time I go to the store, people have their masks on. For the most part, the majority of people, not everybody, but there are some demographics that are just not wearing them, and I'm not going to pick on anybody in particular. There are other demographics that are wearing them, and that's all I'm going to say about that. let's just say it appears to break along who they voted for president, more than likely, on who's wearing masks and who's not. As I've traveled north, fewer and fewer people are wearing masks. I didn't stop a lot of places on my way up, but I knew when I was in Chattanooga, even before I moved here from Chattanooga in the spring, but when I was up there a couple months ago, or a month ago, very few masks on anybody. And then, yeah, by the time I got to Michigan, there wasn't a mask to be found. I mean, except for people who were diligently trying to do the right thing. So anyway, that's what that is. Wear your masks, get vaccinated. It's not a political thing. It's a health thing. I got lucky. My case is very mild. We got very lucky that my elderly parents, their case seems to be very mild. They did get on the antiviral drugs right away. And they're much like me. They wouldn't know they were positive if they hadn't tested, like they don't have a whole lot of symptoms. So we're very fortunate because my dad has COPD and my mother has had major heart surgery and some other health issues in the last few years that have left her very weak. And so if she had gotten a full-blown case of this, if either of them had gotten a full-blown, what we were getting a couple years ago kind of thing, it would not have been pretty. I would have been making another trip back up to Michigan, I'm afraid. So, so that's that update. Just I didn't want to close this out with me laying in bed looking like yesterday's leftovers, actually last month's leftovers. I think that first video, boy, did I look rough. That's what 14 hours in the car. And well, actually I hadn't even gotten to the second day. That's 7 hours in the car and COVID will do for you. All right. But thank you so much for watching, sticking with me. And I haven't been doing much, obviously, because I've been just trying to conserve my energy. So I will get back on that horse again, and we'll get cleaning, painting, renovating, crafting, cooking. I do have 15, 20 pounds of tomatoes in my freezer. Yeah, that's a project that I decided to put off till next week. So anyway, peace out. Love you. Thank you for watching, and we'll catch up with you soon.